Competition underrated me, yeah. Started from bottom, they rated me last. I don't really know if they taking me ass. Fill his face up with hoes like a Jason and Mans. Squad and official, I stay with my niggas. Free the fellas, I just pray for my niggas. Middle finger to these hating ass niggas. Still motivating these ungrateful ass niggas. I know they watching me, I'm watching you too. These niggas be mad cause I'm dropping the truth. It's more than one snitch in your solid ass group, and you say no one time and then watch what they do.
What's up? What's up? What's poppin'? Hey, it's Nate Dogg 916 coming at you live from Sacramento. Hey, you guys already know what it is, man. Go hit that like, that subscribe, and that notification bell, man, if you want to keep watching this fire content. And if you got anybody that you want to see on this channel that you think their story will help the next man, hit me in the comments below or go to my Instagram at Nate.Dogg916 or hit the producer at Sandman2788. We'll definitely get back at you. Don't think we don't get back. Don't think because we don't get back at you immediately, we're not going to. We'll get to it when we can. Believe it. But today, today we got one for you, man. So without further ado, man, what they call you? Where you from, sir?
They call me Mitch. In the pen, I went by Smiley, which is my last name, and I'm from San Diego originally. I don't live there now, but that's where I'm from.
Right. First of all, I appreciate you coming on bright and early in the morning, sir. I appreciate you taking the time. Appreciate
you having me.
So let's get right into it, man. What was it like for Mr. Smiley coming up in San Diego, California, like as a kid, man, or the home life or whatever?
Well, kind of sucked. You know, I was actually born in San Jose, and I lived there till I was about 8. Excuse me. You know, my dad split when I was about a year and a half old. You know, typical story guy in prison. You know, mom's married stepdad. You know, he was an alcoholic. You know, he was a roofer, and he was a hard dude. You know, and he was you know, abusive. We moved to San Diego when I was 8, and it's kind of I think mom's just kind of hiding me out from my real dad. You know.
Oh, okay.
Like funny, like, you know, hey, you're not going to see your kid. I don't know what went on between them.
Right.
But she's real hateful towards him. And I think that was her way of punishing him by, you know, I mean, any man has a son, you know, being deprived of your relationship with your son would really suck. So I think that was her way of hurting him. So, you know, I grew up down there. All my family lived in Northern California, so I was kind of isolated from the family and just, you know.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm in San Diego with my mom, my stepdad, and he was kind of a dickhead, you know. I mean, he was abusive. You know, you don't do your chores, get your ass whooped, you know.
Right.
You don't do something right, whatever. You know, come home drunk one day and he's happy. Drunk the next day, he wants to beat you down, you know.
Yeah.
That kind of shit. So I don't have any brothers or sisters, so you know, I kind of hung out in the street, you know. And you know, as I got in my, you know, like 10, 11, 12, started getting older, I started gravitating towards guys riding motorcycles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That sounds like something I like to talk about. So you 11, 12, for those who don't, everybody on my channel knows I'm a motorcycle kind of enthusiast, sport bikes, Harleys, whatever it is. One right here next to me, one right here behind me. So you about 10, 11, 12 years old, you're coming out into the neighborhood, and we're in San Jose at this time, or San Diego?
No, San Diego. I moved to San Diego when I was about 8.
Okay. So we coming outside, we getting off the porch, we going out to hang out. We like you said, hanging out with guys with motor. Are these bikers or guys that are just
bikers? You know, guys in bike clubs. You know. And,
okay.
And all my homeboys that kind of grew up around, all the same thing. You know, like I grew up in Lakeside, which is it's kind of out in the country in San Diego.
Okay.
It's like the town I lived in, right on the border of the town is a high school and then the Indian reservation. So.
Oh, okay.
I went to school with some Indians down there in Verona. Shout out, you know, love them. And,
sure.
You know, so, I mean, it was like, you know, a lot of bikers, guys in bike clubs, guys, you know, into that scene, man. And, you know, for us riding, you know, we're riding around dirt bikes and, you know, riding around the street on our little Stingray bicycles that we're chopping up and doing whatever too. And
so you're out there.
those
You
guys, you know, like one of them had his garage had a little punching bag, and he'd clear it out and make a little boxing ring in his garage, and they always treated us good, and yeah, so I gravitated towards that kind of lifestyle.
Make sure you guys learn how to fight and have fun at the same time.
And, it was always a respect, I was
Right.
respected as kids,
Yeah.
So
That's
they were
cool.
like our, I don't want to say our idols or anything, but they were kind of like our mentors,
Right.
Because all of us had fucked up dads and fucked up home lives, and
Yeah. The only male examples you guys have are the people that are the ones that are treating you right, or the ones that make an imprint.
right,
You know what I
right.
mean? A good imprint, should I say?
Yeah.
So you out there, you hanging out. Did you get any kind of juvenile trouble? Any kind of trouble
yeah.
into the juvenile?
Yeah, I did quite a bit. When I was around 12, my mom divorced my stepdad, and so the heavy hand was gone, and I just went wild, kind of.
Right.
I had some homeboys. I used to go stay at their house, and I had moved, and I was going to a 24-hour school. They call it goes all year. So your summer vacation is not summer vacation. You go to school for like 2 months, and you get a few weeks off, and so it's weird. So when my friends had summer vacation, I'd be like, "Hey, fuck school. I'll go stay at their house." And my mom's real narcissistic and kind of controlling. And like I said, once my stepdad was gone, the heavy hand of abuse is out of there.
Right.
I was just like, "Hey, fuck it, I'm gonna do what I want." So,
My house now.
First time I went to jail or juvenile hall was I was at my homeboy's pad for like 3-4 days. Then I went down to like the main street, like to go get something to eat, and then there was mom. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll go home for a few days and then come back. And so I get in the car, and got hopped in the car, and she drove to the sheriff's station and turned me over to them.
Wow.
And later on, years later, she said, "Oh, they told me that she went crying to them about I can't control my son and whatever." And they told her, "Well, turn him over to us, and we'll take him to juvenile hall. They'll put him on probation, and they'll help you out with him." So they took me down to the sheriff's station, off juvenile hall, first time ever, and probation it was. And that, like where I live, was like Indians, white dudes, few Mexicans, no blacks.
Right.
And that's alcohol and all at that time,
Right. Absolutely.
Lakeside had a reputation as a pretty rough and tumble town.
Okay.
So now here I am in juvenile hall. I got a lot of Mexicans from Logan Heights and the neighborhoods, and black. So
Oh yeah.
it was
Okay.
a first time experience there. I didn't know anything about gangs because to me the bike clubs, they weren't really gang. They were just bike club.
Right. Absolutely.
So
Right.
that was my first.
So how did that go?
I was all right. I was only there for like 3 or 4 days.
Oh, okay.
I was kind of tripping, I just kind of tripped out. It's different deal. There was really no trouble because I was pretty young. I was in a unit with young guys,
And a lot of people don't understand the difference, the culture shock it actually can have on someone, or the imprint that it can leave, not growing up around any race,
Right.
and then being basically forced to be around with no prior knowledge to how they rock, how they get down. And a lot of people don't understand the differences. People just automatically assume racism when it's not necessarily racism. I just don't know nothing about y'all. It's that simple. Like if I grew up me personally, I grew up in a diversified family, so I never had that issue, but I do understand the process. So after juvenile, you got back out, and I'm pretty sure you hit the ground running as soon as you came back, probation or not.
Yeah, now I got a little status,
Right.
Juvenile hall, yeah. And of course, this is when I first started smoking weed and drinking and all that. Taking LSD and Reds, speed.
Reds.
All that came.
Those are pills, right?
When a few-year time period there, real short span actually.
Right.
I started getting into those type of things,
Okay.
Speed back then was they called whites. They were pills.
Okay. Like cross tops?
Yeah, cross tops, whites, Reds for dollars, barbiturates.
I remember hearing about these things.
Yeah.
The pill get down was big.
Yeah. And then, before this, when my dad was still around, I got in trouble at school because one thing he told me was, you don't ever let anyone put their hands on you,
Yes, sir.
So if somebody puts their hands on you, you could get busy, right? So,
Definitely.
of course, except him, right?
Right.
But, so I was in junior high, 7th grade, and I used to go out for PE, physical ed, and
Right.
come in, and then I'd get my hair wet because you're supposed to shower, when you come in. And so I get my hair wet, coming back, and then like I had taken a shower, and then I go out and smoke some weed for my next class. Coach came in. Yeah, the coach came in. He's like, take a shower, Smiley. And I said, I already did. He's like, no, you didn't take a shower. And I told him, hey, fuck you, old man. And he slapped me in the face, and made my nose bleed. He went in his office. So I told my homeboy, yeah, I'm going to fuck that dude up, and are you gonna fuck him up? And I'm thinking, well, I said it, right?
Now you got to do it, right?
So I'm gonna do it, So I went in the office and I asked him, why'd you hit me? And basically he said, you cussed at me, and I told him he shouldn't have done that. And I cracked him in his mouth, and I split his top lip open on one whole side, one shot, and I was like, fuck yeah, So I had that reputation, and then going to jail. Juvenile hall, kind of. I didn't really see myself as a tough guy, but I had that. People started seeing, okay, this guy's a fuck up. He's,
right.
Yeah.
Because you'll defend yourself and you're not gonna take no shit. Apparently, you're a fuck up.
Yeah,
Right. So, okay. So then the juvenile, never YA, no kind of YA stints or.
Yeah. I did a few in and outs of juvenile hall, and they sent me to a county camp, juvenile camp. And me and my homeboy George, we're like, hey, fuck this, we're out. We split it. And we got caught like 10 miles down the road, sent back to juvenile hall, and the judge let me out he said, I'm going to release you for 30 days. Cause I had really pretty janky charges, So during the 30 days, if I program right, I go back to court, he would let me just go home for good. Or if I fucked up, it's off to youth authority. And, I fucked up. So I went to youth authority for, I got a 6 to 9 month sentence. And it was called a board referral at that time. We were going to escape. And so I had a chessboard. It was a real thick piece of plywood with the chess piece board,
Right.
That had been made in wood shop. And so in the middle of the night, the counselor's going down the middle of the dorm, there's bunks on each side. And
right.
I got up and I was going to knock him out with his chessboard, tie him up with his keys, it was my big plan, And I beat his head in with a chessboard and turned around, get rope, tie him up. And he had ran out of the dorm and was in the office.
Oh.
And he was on the phone, saying, get Smiley. He's Iranian dude. He talked kind of funny. So,
right.
But, yeah, they broke me off some time for that. And, and so they transferred me to another unit.
Right.
Where I was like 14, and I'm on a unit with guys that were 19 to 25 years old,
Wow.
But I was a big kid,
Right.
So
they sent you to the adult unit, though.
Yeah, I just beat down one of their counselors too, so they were kind of upset. And so now youth authority, right, was Crips, Bloods,
right.
18th Street, Big Hazard, all these gangs, Pico Rivera, Pico Nuevo. I just kind of blew my mind, and it was major gang shit because almost everyone there was from Los Angeles.
Right.
And the guy that I escaped from the juvenile camp with was there with me. And he's like, I remember when I first got there, someone stole my little 8-track player. First day. And actually before that, these two dudes, they're Miles and Country. They're Crip dudes, and they come here, everybody's at school. And they're like, yeah, man, we're holding down this unit. And I'm like, what do you mean you're holding it down? I mean, it's gonna float away, or what?
Right.
We're running this unit, and so when you go on a visit, you can have 2 packs of cigarettes. So when you get them cigarettes, get Cools. And I'm like, why would I do that? I don't smoke Cools. And like, I said, they're like, well, that's for us, And I said, I ain't giving you shit, fuck you, basically, right?
Yep.
And it was on, dude stole my 8-track player. My homeboy George is like, hey, dude, you got to get that back, or they're gonna take everything you got.
Absolutely.
I'm like, all right. So I started looking through lockers, and I'm, motherfucking people. And, when you're a youngster in YA, it's like, hey, fuck your mother and all that shit.
Yeah. Trying to get the person who did it to jump up.
Yeah. So the guy took it, gave it to his homeboy, and that dude gave it to my homeboy George, and I got it back because they seen, it was going to be an issue.
Right.
So, but like there was like 4 white dudes on a unit with like 30 blacks and 15, 20 Mexicans.
Oh, shit.
It was bad,
Okay.
And, we got Rat Pack pretty much daily. It was ugly.
Right. Hell yeah.
But fight all the time. Why it was more violent, less deadly, but more violent than prison.
Yeah. I've told people that on my channel many times.
So I got in some more trouble later on, and they sent me to board, and the board said they actually found me suitable, to go home. They wanted me to go home. And they said, look, you came in here young. We don't want you to be institutionalized, so we're going to let you go home.
Right.
Like 6 months or whatever. And they transferred me to OH close. And, it was ugly. I didn't last long there. They had pool tables there, and I beat some guy in the head with a pool ball, and I beat another guy down in the wood shop. And, I was just,
Turned up.
I was an angry motherfucker,
Right. Young and full of it. Let's get it. I
didn't understand that this youth authority wasn't the same as I was at Nellis. It wasn't the same.
Okay, right.
Whole different scene. All the gang thing really wasn't there.
Right. Yeah, always closed. That's the nice spot. That's where you're supposed to be hanging out and kicking back, getting ready to go home.
Yeah, but I mean, it was a whole. I mean, I'm sure some of the guys from Northern California were gang dudes, but it wasn't nothing like being down south. It was just and it really wasn't a racial thing, So my mind was already fucked up from being down there, so I was just about, any bullshit I was going to take off, So they took my date and sent me to Paso Robles from there. And they said, took my date for 6 months, sent me there. And I had a homeboy there that was, he beat some guy up, and his name's Ricky. And all the white dudes are kind of like, I get this scuttlebutt, man, and they want to beat my homeboy down,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going through the chow, and I see one of these guys, he's all tattooed down and shit. And I said, hey, man, if you fuck with my homeboy, I'm going to stab you,
Yeah.
They're like, wow, because they, it's really, I hadn't been no stabbing shit yet, but I'm already going there,
Yeah.
And so they went to the Protestant chaplain and ratted on me and told me this guy, whatever. So they came and got me after classification, and excuse me, they put me in the hole. There was a program side and a lockdown side, like AdSeg, and then a program side.
Okay.
They put me in the program side of the hole, and I did my last 6 months there. And the day before I left, the Protestant chaplain came down there, and he said, hey, these guys came to me, and I'm the one that had you put in here because I want to see you go home. You came in at a really young age, like just turned 13. Now you're 16, whatever.
Right.
So anyway, I paroled from there. I stayed out about 4 months, and I remember 4th of July, we're in a pool hall and playing like foosball and all that shit. And there was a dispute with my homeboy and these 2 guys over a foosball game. He's like, hey, let's go fuck these dudes up.
Right.
I'm like, sure.
Okay.
Let's go fuck them up. So we beat these guys down and, kicked their teeth out and all that shit. about a week later, they came and got me, you know. And turned out they were older than me. You know, they were, I think the dude I beat up was like 19 or 20. But their mommy and daddy got upset, called the cops. And they gave me another year for that, and they sent me to Preston for that.
Oh.
It was either going to be YTS or Preston.
Okay.
And, YTS was the same, you know, 3-4 white dudes on the unit, hard times.
Yeah.
Preston was like, they call it the White House.
Yeah, the White House. Yeah.
There were so many white dudes there, you know.
It was the YA, High Desert of YA.
Yeah. So I went there, and I was 16.
Ooh,
and
back
once
then, it was
again,
really popping too.
Yeah, and I was on the
Preston.
unit with guys, you know, up to 25.
Yeah.
And mostly, it was a fuck up unit. You know, older guys, serious guys. Some of the guys were writing letters to guys in San Quentin that had parole from Preston and got busted and were in San Quentin now.
Right.
So there's prison communication, also with DVI.
Right.
And one of the guys from Richmond, his brother was in Tracy, and he was telling me what was going on there because he had the northern prison gang there. You know, they were killing white dudes pretty regular, along with the black prison gang. You know, he told me, yeah, man, my brother got stabbed, you know. And then I had a homeboy that was writing me from Tracy. And he's like, hey, I'm getting out of the hole tomorrow. I'll probably be back within a week, you know. It was ugly.
Yeah. And this is what year?
77.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
78.
Oh, yeah.
It was bad. The white dudes had it bad there, you know. But so we're getting correspondence with prison, you know.
Right.
So it's not, you know, young kid shit no
Just
more.
kid
It's like
stuff. Yeah, it's grown man stuff now.
starting to get big boy shit, you know.
Yeah.
And I remember going to Chow Hall one day, and they had Northerners there and Southerners there, and that's when the Northerner thing, I wasn't really hip to it till I got there, you know. And there were some Southerner dudes that I'd known from Nellis, you know. And we're going to Chow one day, and the unit we're on had its own Chow Hall.
Okay.
So we're all lined up, walking out, going to Chow, and this dude just took off and started stabbing this dude. And the Southerner stabbed this Northerner. Then he stabbed his buddy in front of him. And then he chased another one around the building and stabbed him. I was like, motherfucker, you know. Then we had a couple riots, whites, black riots, shit, you know.
Right.
You know, everybody's young, mouthing off, testosterone, you know.
Oh, yeah. Let's go then. Let's get it popping.
Yeah, I got put in the hole. Once again, I have a program side, Tamarack, and a lockdown side. So I go to the program side of the hole, and you had to kind of be invited over there by the white dudes over there. If you just went over there, they're like, hey, you know, what are you doing over here?
Right.
You know. So I was over there, and this cat went over there. He was they didn't like him. He was from Frisco, and I liked him, but, you know, they didn't. And so, you know, he's talking shit. I'm over here. I ain't leaving. Fuck you, you know. But he's in the cell. They haven't let him out yet.
Right.
So this dude made a little slingshot because they had bars, you know.
Right.
I made a little slingshot, got a test tube of gasoline and shot it in there, a little firebomb, and tried to burn him up, you know. And so they sent him back to his unit. He was talking shit, and so we went to church, you know, on Sunday and beat his ass on the way back from church, and they got me locked up. I did my last 30-day slam.
Oh, so they had you got chose to go beat him up, or you just saw him and you just
no, two of the other dudes said, hey man, dude's over there talking smack, you know, we're gonna go fucking deal with it. I'm like,
okay.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
yeah, right, okay.
But you know, once went around the corner, kind of knocked him down. Once they start kicking him, I'm like, I'm cool, you know.
Right.
But
so at this time it's just a white kid, just, you know, you guys fucking with white kids, I'm fighting too. It's not really no like gang shit. It's just basically.
No, it's not gang shit for the whites yet.
Right.
You know?
That's what I mean. It's not a clique shit. It's just you fuck with us, we gonna fuck with you back.
Yeah, but there were guys talking about prison gangs.
Right.
for me, I'm in the biker thing. So,
Right. Absolutely. A whole different
I'm
get
not
down.
really interested in being in a prison gang. So
Right.
that's what I paroled from. I mean,
Okay.
Preston was the level of violence escalated. There was some stabbings, there were some beat downs that were pretty bad.
Oh, I've heard stories about I've personally never been to YA, but in my age group, I've heard that before Chad, Preston was the worst thing you can go to.
Yeah, it was actually for me it was kind of fun, but
Yeah.
because I didn't mind,
Because you was turned up. That's where you was supposed to be.
yeah. I was already used to the violence and the
Right.